Chapter 2. Galvin. Animal screams split the quiet night. Galvin jumped up in bed, heart pounding with shock. Isolde stirred next to him, then jolted awake, panicked. "What?" she asked. "What is it?" The unmistakable sound of dying hogs filled the air. He tore the quilts off himself and jumped out of bed, surprising himself with his alacrity. "What is it?" his wife repeated, more panicked than before. "Stay here," he growled, grabbing his shirt from the closet and running out the door. He fumbled into the white linen when he turned the corner toward the barn and gasped. Flames consumed the pen, pouring out the windows and melting the nearby snow. "Devils of ice," he muttered. Only then did he notice that Roger and Kin were also there, already scooping snow with their hands and flinging it into the open windows. Raoun, Howie, and Boral were pouring out from their bunkhouses as well. Stifling his questions and unbelieving panic, he began to shout. "Forget the storming barn and get the blasted doors open!" He ran as he yelled. "Howie, Raoun, open your side!" The heat was sweltering, but the men obeyed all the same. The trapped animals inside screamed ever louder. After a few moments, the pins locking the doors in place were removed, and they all shoved on the blistering hot door, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if the doors had been, somehow, frozen solid. "How did this snowing happen?" Galvin yelled. They continued shoving on the door when Raoun approached from the opposite side of the barn. "It won't budge," he cried. "Come on," Galvin huffed. "My axe." And they took off back in the direction of Galvin's house. Around the back, they approached the entrance to the basement, and Galvin felt at his pockets. He had forgotten his keyring in the confusion. "Devils of ice," he cursed. "Fetch my keys, boy." But Raoun just pointed. "It's open." "What? It can't be." But sure enough, the lock lay on the snowy ground, and the latch was lifted. Galvin grabbed the hatch and threw it open, dashing inside. He grabbed 2 large axes and handed one to his field hand. "Get that door open! We have to get the hogs out." He rushed back to the hatch, but hesitated. In the corner of his left eye, he noticed a door hanging ajar. The door to his ledger room. What the devil? He suddenly felt a surge of caution overcome him, and slowly approached the door. Record books and papers lay scattered everywhere. Pages were missing from several books and shredded across the floor. But most disturbing of all was the door to his safe. It lay open, hanging wide on its weak hinge. Its shelves were empty, his life savings gone. Not a single coin remained. In a sudden flash of understanding, Galvin realized that he wasn't going to get those barn doors open. This was no accident. He had been doing so well, competing in the Blackwood market against all odds, and now, in a single night, he had gone from wealthy to destitute, and he had no idea who to blame. White-hot anger was blanketed by complete shock, and his face betrayed no expression. He was ruined. Galvin numbly rounded the corner of his home, and the burning barn came back into view. The flames were higher than ever, and only Kin still worked at opening the door, attacking the hinges with Raoun's axe. Isolde and Isabeth were standing on the porch now, staring at the flames in their nightdresses. Isolde held one protective hand over Isabeth and one to her mouth, eyes wide in horror. Galvin almost smiled to himself, a reaction that seemed to make sense to his shocked mind. She didn't know the half of it. As Galvin struggled to comprehend his loss, the roof collapsed, and the last of the screaming animals were silenced.